You don't wanna see me bratty. Pet the kitty, call me caddy. Make your man call me daddy. He talk too much, he's too chatty.
I haven't filmed a video in so long. Okay. Hey guys, how are you guys doing today? I hope that you're having an amazing day, night, or evening, whenever you're watching this video. So today is gonna be a little bit different. Basically, like, today is New Year's. Well, it was New Year's Eve, now it's New Year's Day, but it's like late at night. The reason why I'm making this video today is because I actually spent my New Year's Eve alone. Okay, I spent it alone completely, and I wanted to come on here to basically make this video because I want to talk about solitude and how it's important to have solitude. And I'm making this because today I had my New Year's Eve alone, but honestly, I'm enjoying myself. And I'm really happy and grateful that I did this. So I don't know why, but I just feel really called to talk to you guys about solitude and why it's important to be able to build time or to put time aside for just spending time with just yourself. And one of those reasons is because a lot of people, they tend to, you know, even if they are by themselves at home or whatever, they tend to be on their phone. They tend to be on social media and stuff like that, and that's not really being alone. If you're like texting with somebody, if you're like on the phone or like on social media with people, like that's not really being alone, like truly being alone, you know what I mean? So it's really important to actually cultivate true alone time. I'll get into some reasons why you need alone time and you need solitude this year, because this year I just feel like this is the year of glowing up. We could get into all the spiritual reasons behind that. All I'm gonna say is that this year is the year of 7. So 2023 adds up to a 7 in numerology. And 7 for me is a lucky number. It's also my life path number. And in numerology, it also represents luck and expansion and growth. And we could honestly go into the astrology and everything like that, but I'm gonna save that for another video. If you guys want to see more videos like this one though, definitely hit the subscribe button down below and hit that post notification bell so that you can get notified every single time I post a video. And I'm glad to be back, guys. I'm really, really glad to be back. So let's just get right into it. So usually when you're spending a lot of time on social media with friends, with family, or or with your boyfriend or girlfriend, significant other, whatever, you tend to avoid time just for you. And I mean, like, okay, if you are at home by yourself, but you're on your phone or you're on social media, you're not really by yourself, you know what I mean? You're still giving your time and energy to other people and other things. So it's really important that you actually cultivate alone time. So things like meditation, sitting with yourself. You don't have to necessarily meditate to do this, but just sitting with yourself, or like going on an outing and stuff, or taking yourself on a date and not being on your phone, or being more present in your everyday life just by yourself, not on your phone, not talking to people all the time. The reason why that is could be a few reasons, but one of them is definitely that you're avoiding yourself. I know I am guilty of this. I have been guilty of this in the past, where I would have to be on my phone if I'm by myself, and if I'm not on my phone, like I'd have to be with somebody in person in order to feel good. But then when I was alone with myself, like I felt really bad about myself and I felt in a really dark place. But honestly, that's how it starts out, because I was avoiding myself so much that I let myself fall into this dark place where I couldn't really be honest and upfront with myself, and I had to confront a lot of things about myself that maybe I didn't really like, and it was hard. Not gonna lie to you guys, it was hard. But it got easier over time. And cultivating some alone time will really, really help you confront different parts of yourself that maybe you never even realized you had. This can also relate to codependency issues. So like when you are dependent on others for stimulation, when you are dependent on others for approval, you're dependent on others for gratification, you're dependent on others for happiness, you're dependent on others for just everything in your life, how are you ever going to build a strong foundation within yourself? How are you ever going to build a strong life for yourself and a secure life for yourself if you are unwilling to spend time with just yourself? You know, you have all these goals you want to accomplish. Well, these goals you want to accomplish, they're going to take some hard inner work just as much as you have to take outer work. Just as much as you have to take action on your goals, you also have to do the inner work on maybe the reasons why you haven't taken action on your goals. Inner work is so important, guys. Like, and inner work doesn't have to be formal. It doesn't have to be like what people would deem shadow work or whatever. It doesn't have to be what some people say, or it doesn't have to be exactly what someone else tells you it should be. You can make it personable to you. The main thing about inner work is just asking yourself questions, right? So when things come up in your life, where obstacles come up in your life, you got to start asking yourself questions rather than just ignoring them and getting to the root of the problem, basically. Because when you get to the root of the problem, that's when you can fix it and find the solution. So it's not just about finding the problem, but it's also about finding the solution. And when you spend a lot of time with yourself, you're more able to find the solution, right? This also ties into, like, this is a random topic, I guess, but when people, like, they tend to distract themselves, it's harder for you to find a solution because you're distracting yourself from the problem itself. Meaning, if you distract yourself from the problem, how are you going to find the solution to it? You'll just be stuck in this loop. So, guys, I can't tell you how important it is for you to take time for yourself this year. This is not going to be the year of us just being on our phones again and wasting our time. I'm pretty sure a lot of us have goals that we want to achieve this year, and the only way you're going to do that is by fully immersing into yourself and pouring all that energy that you've been giving to other people, all that energy you've been giving to social media, all that energy that you've been giving elsewhere. You should pour that back into yourself, okay? Because that's what's really going to help you elevate. The truth is with this is, like, you're probably running away from yourself because maybe certain things about you don't want to confront. I know I've been there. There's been times in my life where, you know, I've had solitude and I would escape solitude and I would distract myself with other people and immerse myself in my relationships and put my I would put their needs first. I would put everyone else's needs before mine. I would put everyone else's time alone before mine. And I would never spend time with myself because I was honestly afraid of confronting who I was. I was honestly really afraid of confronting all the parts of myself that maybe I didn't like. But once I actually, like, did it, yeah, it was hard to begin with. But once you get over the initial fear of doing it, it gets a lot easier over time. The thing is, when you are running from yourself, or when you decide to go within yourself and when you decide to do inner work, you are walking into the unknown. You don't really know what's going to happen, right? But a big spiritual lesson, people talk about this in the spiritual community all the time. It's like you have to go into the unknown because you never know what's going to be out on the other side. You may be afraid of the unknown and the dangers that it might hold, but you're letting your fear overprotect you, or you're letting your ego overprotect you from all the good that can come out of being in the unknown, from all of the revelations you can get from being in the unknown, from all of the blessings that you can receive by finding your way through the darkness, okay? Like, you can get to it. You can figure it out for yourself, you know? And even if it isn't easy, even if it's not an easy journey, it's definitely worth it at the end of the day, because the longest relationship you will ever have is the relationship that you have with yourself. So it's important that you learn about who you are and you take the time to be alone so that you can really learn about who you are. I feel like we learn a lot about ourselves through relationships as well. However, we learn our most about ourselves when we are alone. And that's why it's so important for you guys to take some solitude. I'm not saying completely cut off your friends. I'm not saying completely cut off your family. I'm not saying like just become a hermit full time and just like, just say, I don't need nobody, cut off everybody. No, that's not what I mean. I mean like you can still have your friends and family. You can still give your energy to them. But make sure you take time for yourself. Even if it's like, I don't know, like 20 minutes a day. If all you have is 20 minutes a day, take the time, okay? And I'm pretty sure a lot of us might have more. Some of us might not. But if you have at least some time for yourself, take that time for yourself. If you're not good with meditation, take time for self-reflection at least. If you're running through your thoughts all day at work or school or whatever you do for a living, if your thoughts are running all day, take some time to step back and reflect instead of letting your thoughts run wild, because it's really going to help you in the long term. It's going to help you identify what it is that you want to change about yourself and what exactly it is going on in your life that is holding you back from changing yourself. Because oftentimes we hold ourselves back and we self-sabotage ourselves because we're afraid of being alone, and going into that unknown place is uncomfortable for your ego. So you need to dissolve that ego and just let go of that and just fully immerse yourself into you and fully take time for you, because you honestly deserve it. You honestly owe it to yourself to take time for you. Like, why is it that why do you feel the need to give yourself to other people but not give to yourself? When you say yes to other people, sometimes you're saying no to yourself. When you bend over backwards for everyone else, you're doing yourself a disservice, okay? And honestly, in the long run, it makes your relationships worse because then you start to build resentment towards people. What you should really do is take enough time for yourself, especially when you have relationships, like close relationships. Take time for yourself, but also make time for your friends, right? This is your life, not theirs. Don't let other people dictate your life, okay? This is your life, and the longest relationship you will ever have is with yourself. So you need to come to terms with yourself and really discover yourself. Like self-discovery, to me, self-discovery is more important than self-help. Of course, self-help and self-discovery go hand in hand, but how are you going to help yourself if you don't know exactly what you need help with, right? So self-discovery, guys, is very important. I can't stress enough how important it is. And that's the energy I'm coming with for this next year. I don't care really if people think that it's selfish that I'm taking time for myself. If I have to compromise like my activities, if I have to compromise my own schedule for somebody else, I'm sorry, but I don't have time for it. Okay, don't compromise your schedule for other people. I can't tell you how many times that I've compromised my own plans, even if my plans were something simple like cleaning the house, okay, or doing my laundry. I'm not ever going to compromise my own plans for other people anymore, because even if it is something simple that I could do later if I really wanted to, no, you know what? I set out this time for myself. I planned this time to be with myself and to get things that I need to get done. And it's not as important to me as getting validation from other people. It's not as important to me as getting gratification from other people. It's really not. You guys, sometimes you gotta say no to people even if you want to say yes. Because as it's important to set boundaries with other people, it's also important to set boundaries with ourselves. Because sometimes we know what's best for us, but we'll sabotage that because of our own need for attention and our own codependency, right? So we will do things and we will not have boundaries with ourselves and think that we can just do whatever our emotions feel like they want to do at that time, which I do think it's important to be in tune with your emotions and follow your heart in a sense, but don't follow your emotions all the time, because sometimes your emotions can be spontaneous and impulsive. Follow your heart instead. Follow your intuition instead. When you spend time with yourself, you are allowing yourself to identify your emotions easier. You are allowing yourself to strengthen your intuition. Okay, so And not just that, but when you are spending time with yourself, you are creating boundaries for yourself and knowing, you know what, I really, like, okay, think about it like this, right? So if you have homework to do at school, like let's say you're in school, if you have homework to do and you're going to get in a lot of trouble if you don't finish this homework, right? Or you're going to be behind in class if you don't do this homework, why would you go on your phone and scroll on TikTok? Why would you go hang out with your friends? You have things to do. You have priorities, because guess what? Your friends can wait, right? That time with your friends, that can be spent another time. That time on TikTok's not going anywhere, okay? That time can be spent any other time. You could even go scroll on TikTok after you finish your work. You could even go hang out with your friends after you finish your work as a reward. But what we often tend to do is we reward ourselves without actually doing the work to receive the reward. Like basically depending on the dopamine in your brain. Okay, you are depending on the reward chemical in your brain. This is why you need to take time away from social media as well, because that will release all that dependency that you have on dopamine, which is, like I said, the reward chemical in your brain. The thing is with social media nowadays, like, we get instant gratification just from scrolling on social media. We get gratification from, you know, liking a picture or seeing something we like on the internet. And now it's caused us humans to be addicted to dopamine. So taking time for yourself away from your phone, even if you want to do like a dopamine detox. If you guys want me to do a video on dopamine detoxing, I'll definitely do a video on that some other time. But if you even want to take a day away from your phone, I highly recommend that, because that will really give you the chance to really see what life is like outside of your phone. What life is like outside of your social life, and what life is like outside of your family life. Okay, there's a whole other world out there for you to explore and for you to find yourself in. So don't let it pass you. You know, look at how beautiful the world is. Look at how many beautiful places there are in the world. Look how many natural wonders are in the world. And you're going to waste all of your life on TikTok. You're going to waste all of your life on Instagram. Okay, our time here is limited. Okay, and you shouldn't be wasting it on pointless things. You know, like, you know how people say, like, time is money? It's not just money. Like, time is everything. Time is the only thing that we will have. So it's time for you to start enjoying your life and actually having a life besides your phone, besides social media, besides your friends and your family and your relationship. Have a real life. The last thing I want to touch on today, guys, is that solitude and spending more time with yourself will free you from the chains of codependency. When you are codependent on people, like, you could do research on codependency, but basically you are relying on other people for your happiness, and that comes with other things like waiting on other people to allow you to be successful. You're waiting for permission from people to do the things that you want to do. You feel like you cannot do anything without these certain people in your life. And that's just not the case. It doesn't really matter how loyal you are to them or how loyal they are to you. Like, saying that you can't live without somebody or you can't do anything without somebody, or even subconsciously thinking that you can't thrive without somebody else in your life beside you, it's detrimental. It's going to be really hard for your mental health in the long run. So I really suggest that you start now. For me, I'm young, okay? I'm 23 years old, and like, I'm really grateful that I'm learning these things when I'm young, because a lot of people my age and older don't really learn about these things, and they don't actually take the time to spend time with themselves and learn about themselves, and they get stuck in this rat race, basically, and they get stuck within their social lives, and they never prioritize themselves, and then when they get older, they sit around wondering what went wrong. You know, what went wrong? Why couldn't I just focus on myself when I was younger? Why couldn't I go live my life to the fullest while I was younger? And I get it, you know? I get it. We're all scared. But I'm telling you, like, the only thing that's really holding you back from your happiness is yourself, and there's really nothing to be afraid of, you know? Because fear is just irrational. Like, there's really nothing to be afraid of, especially when it comes to yourself. There's really nothing to be afraid of, you guys. Okay? Really, honestly and truly. I genuinely think that everybody should take time for self-reflection, and everybody should take time for some self-discovery, you know? And this year, 2023 is all about that, you guys, because we're trying to accomplish big goals. I know a lot of you out there are definitely trying to accomplish some big goals, and I'm telling you, this is really going to help you, spending a lot of time with yourself. Not just will you be able to do the inner work, but you'll have more time and space to work on your goals as well. So it's a win-win situation. But anyways, guys, that was all that I had to say about why you need to take time for yourself this year, okay? Like, take time for you this year. You deserve it. You owe it to yourself. And nobody else is going to give you permission, so you have to give yourself permission. This is your life, and you determine the outcome. You create your reality by the choices that you make. And and taking time for yourself is a choice that you will never regret. Prioritizing yourself first is never a choice that you will regret. So, yeah, I hope that resonated with you guys. I hope that could help you in some way, and I hope that this encourages you to take more time for yourself this year, because I just want to see everybody do good for themselves, and I want to see everybody just leveling up like crazy. And for me, this was one of the best ways that I leveled up, by taking more time for me. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hoped you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely leave a like down below. Leave me a comment, please. I love reading your comments. You guys are so sweet. And definitely don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm grateful for every single one of you. And I'll see you guys in my next video. So bye, guys. I'm nervous.